If you have the right to blend the head, I need the right to withhold the bread.
Financial abortion.
Bender,
saying, right?
yeah, I'll address that. Bender the offender, I think you want me to ask this question not to her, but to the other people on the panel. So it's called paper abortion, financial abortion, but I think the preferred term among men who advocate for this, or I suppose women who advocate for this, is legal paternal surrender. So essentially, if a woman has a right to an abortion, a man should have a corresponding right to relinquish any financial responsibility in the same way that a woman may very well, as pretext for getting an abortion, she might get one because she's not financially able to. So if the woman is able to abort the child, murder the child, however you want to frame it, so too should the man have an option to relinquish financial responsibility.
Yep. It's the only rational decision to make while abortion is legal. And it's up to a woman solely. So like the man should be able to 100%. At least decide what he's going to do if she has a decision there as well.
It's a very good point. And I definitely, in any state or any country where abortion is legal, there too should be a way for a man to do legal paternal surrender. Hey, I'm not financially ready. It's funny because when it comes to this conversation, even women who are pro-choice, when it comes to the man's responsibility in the scenario, they basically will argue pro-life positions for the man.
Yeah.
So they're pro-choice when it comes to women's responsibility, but when it comes to man's responsibility, they turn into like Bronze Age 1950s pro-lifers. It's very convenient.
So who here is pro-choice?
Yeah, I wanted to go around the table on that. You?
I'm not sure.
We'll wait for Julie.
Pro-choice.
I'm pro-life.
I'm pro-life.
Oh, we know you.
And do you support a man having the sort of the same decision to?
I completely agreed with what you guys were just saying.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times there are situations where like you guys have heard horror stories of women trying to trap celebrities into paying child support and things like that, where they'll like poke holes in the condoms thing, situations like that. So I think it's ridiculous that.
Well, just don't have, like, the celebrity can still choose not to have sex. Like, you can't put your faith in a condom. Like, that would be like, imagine there's a big red button in the middle of the table, and if you push it,
Beaten Cheeks donated $100.
Beaten Cheeks.
Any woman who declines a paternity test or even during dating a woman and you ask her if she against it before getting serious, get rid of that woman. She is a garden tool.
Thank you, Beaten Cheeks. Thank you, sir.
Can I continue?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So imagine there's a big red button in the middle of the table, and there is a 1% chance that if you push the button, a human being will be created that's fully dependent on you. Can you push that button and then a human being be created in that 1% chance and then be like, whoa, I am not responsible for this, even though you are responsible for your actions of pushing the button? No, I don't think so. So I think if a guy is engaging in consensual sex with a woman, he should absolutely be responsible for the child he creates.
Well, I think
Living
that's logically
donated
$100.
$100. So disappointed with my fellow North Carolina citizen. That's a ridiculous take. What exactly is the negative of making paternity tests mandatory? Imagine if somehow women didn't know if their kid was theirs.
I might have been gone. Did we talk about?
Yeah.
Did you guys?
I don't really think I don't really have
an
issue.
You're against paternity tests?
No, I'm not against it. I just think it should be optional. Like, for instance, when I get married and I have a kid, I don't need a paternity test to prove that it'll be my husband that helps.
You don't need it.
No, but some other people do, and for those cases, I do absolutely think they should be
no
able
woman
to.
needs a
okay.
No, what if you give birth to a child? You know the child's yours. There might be questions as to who the father is. Wait, so are you pro-life or pro-choice?
Pro-choice.
Pro-choice. Bender, I want to come back to Bender the offender because he had this question.
Bender the offender donated
Ignore
$100.
the first part of this.
So if you believe life begins at conception, would you support a woman who seeks child support before the birth of the child?
So for the ladies here who are pro-choice, when it comes to child support, and perhaps we sort of preemptively talked a bit about this, but for those of you who are pro-choice, in the event of, hold on, I'm just reading it, would you support a woman being able to get child support before the child is born?
No.
I think that's crazy, no.
I want to say yes, but also like scientifically, it's so hard to like prove scientifically, or like paternity tests are complicated. Like ideally, yes, I feel like if a woman is pregnant and the man is there, like they should help out with the pregnancy, but I think logistically just not.
What if like in Canada that you're able to have
you can abort at any time in
so
Canada.
Like what if you just want the the money and up until
a certain point
8 months
Or what if
in?
I just say it's
You
like
could.
Elon Musk's kid? I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't think that's okay. I think you need to be able to prove that the child is yours before you start paying child support for it.
So your
Well,
position.
also, like I'm pro-choice, but I think there's like I don't think you should be aborting a baby like when it's like almost like, I guess timeline-wise, when the first feel the heartbeat is like, that's when I'm like, okay.
So you're
like,
against it after heartbeat. So you're basically against all abortion because a heartbeat begins 21 days after conception, which is before most women even know they're pregnant.
I would have to do a little more research on that.
bitch.
What? Like I don't
true.
like what I was trying to say is that like I guess you can like the first day that you know you're pregnant, like you should like if that is like a choice you want to make, you should make it. There should be like a timeline or like a. I'm not familiar with like the weeks of whatever,
So-
but like at certain point if you're past that point, you should not. Be
So are
getting
you
it.
saying that no matter when a woman finds out she's pregnant, she should be able to like have a day to decide whether or not she wants to keep it? No matter what time of pregnancy.
Not no matter what time. If it's earlier and like if it's a day or two finding out, yeah, she should be able.
What do you mean a day or two finding out? At like 5 weeks, 6 weeks?
I mean, obviously, I'm not familiar with like what weeks are allowed.
The earliest you can find out is usually like 4 weeks, and that's usually pretty rare. Usually it's around 5 to 6 weeks.
I would say like 8 weeks.
At 8 weeks is the cutoff.
Yeah.
And are you just
In
making
my opinion, obviously.
Are you just making like an arbitrary line on that, or do you have any like reasoning behind it?
I mean, I just think it makes more sense to like kind of like, because for women they need to decide because it's their body. And I know earlier you were talking about financial responsibility, and I wanted to make a point that yes, like men or should be responsible for the child support, but also like they've made the decision to have sex with that woman, and if they want to, if the woman has the option to get an abortion, that's because it's in their body. Like men are not.
they should
So
be
why can't we apply the argument of, so you're saying men, they should have just kept it in their pants, you made the choice to have sex, consenting to sex as a man is consenting to 18 years of child support, but consenting to sex as a woman means you can murder your unborn child? That's your position essentially?
I don't see it as murder unless
Okay,
it's like
fine.
between
I'll be
yeah.
charitable. It's an abortion. Women can get rid of terminate the pregnancy.
What exactly do you think happens in an abortion? If it's
Hold
not
on, let's
murder?
not get detailed here, but
Oh my gosh.
She's ready to go in.
but look, perhaps we can circle back to the abortion conversation, but can you provide a bit of clarification?
Right.
My question was, so would you support a woman who seeks child support before the birth of the child?
I said, like, I think it does make sense if a woman is pregnant and she needs, like, supplies or certain things for being pregnant. I think the men should definitely support. But also, like, I know because of paternity tests and, like, science, it's kind of complicated to confirm before the money's being paid out. So logistically, it doesn't make sense, but ethically, I do believe in that scenario.
So do you think that the man should be paying child support from the point of conception?
Like, from the point of
Like-
being positive on the pregnancy test.
Let's just say there was some magical way for a woman to know. Let's say, I mean, I think within 72 hours of having sexual intercourse, if there was some magical way to know she was pregnant. I know some pregnancy tests can take, you might know, how 4 weeks?
4 weeks is
4 or 6
generally
weeks?
the earliest, yeah.
So let's just say magically you can know within a week of having had sex. So do you think that the man should be responsible for paying child support from the point of conception, assuming there's some magical method of knowing how, if she was
That
pregnant?
plus magical way of confirming that that is the father, yes.
Okay.
But you think that same woman should be able to kill her child? You think that a man should be forced to pay
Before
for
that point,
But it's not a child yet.
what do you mean?
Your
Well-
argument is that it's not a child yet, so why do you care so much if a guy pays for it?
Like between the time of conception until, I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with the weeks, but the certain week that you mentioned, I think the woman should have the right of choice, but also during that period, men should not be responsible for paying it. But after that point, that And like, you know.
So after heartbeat, I think you said, they both should be allowed. They both shouldn't be allowed to either financially abort or actually abort the baby.
Yes, but I want to add an extra week because I didn't know that that's like the earliest you can find out. You know.
Now you know.
No, thank you for the extra.
Good times.
Yeah.
All right, we have D Wood, Lydia fan club in the house. You rock, Lydia. You are a based legend.
Thank you. I think I might know this person. Is this Daniel?
Okay.
I think so.
Thank you,
Daniel.
Thank you. All right, let me read a couple chats. I will come back. We are going to come back to the 1 to 10 rating thing here. Maddie, can you read this?
The Harley Quinn religious chick on the left wants men to pay for women's stupidity when they get pregnant. It's always funny how men have to be accountable for their actions, but women are given a free pass.
Just
Women have to
AD
grow
what
up.
Dino donated $200.
Thank you, CS.
Abortion, regardless of who pays for it, is robbing men of fatherhood and women of motherhood. Every woman has the ability to be a great mother to her child. Abortion takes that away from women.
I'm just a guy. What do I know? Hey, thank you, man, for your patronage tonight. Another 200 TTS. Thank you, man. Really appreciate it.